Hi, Michael here again. I'm here to talk to you today about a great camera. This is a Debrie Parvo Model L. As a matter of fact, it's exactly a Model L/E. They made many models. This is a very special camera because it still works after almost 100 years. I would date this to about 1930 or 31, and everything on this camera works. It's really wonderful. First thing I'm going to do is give you a close-up of all four sides of the camera. Here's a quick walk around here. We have the front of the camera here, the lens, the shutter adjustable dial here. So you can go all the way to 0, or you can set it to any amount you want, all the way open. And that's so simple just by turning this knob. Right here is how you loosen the lens out to take it out. Now let's go here. We have the cranking side. Now here is a button. It's called a film notch. It would notch the film on the side so you could run your fingers along. You'd know where the scene started and ended, wherever the cameraman put it. This one here we're going to talk about later. It's how to operate the rack over device. Back here, here's the back of the camera. We have the footage counter, which works flawlessly. A motor mount if you want to use a motor. A working bubble level. Here's your rear critical focuser. Light trap on it, works beautifully. And right here is their later model, which I think is great, footage counter. And what it is you have your footage counter in meters here. You have your turns of the crank and how many frames. And if you notice on this, it's in French and in German. This camera was sold through the Zeill company, S-C-H-A-T-Z-O-W. And Zeill had a great contract. They were the sole distributors for Debrie's French camera through all of Germany and all of Russia, which was a huge contract. Hi, here we are in close-up, but first I want to show you this core. This is a remake of a Debrie core. They're very specific to the camera, and they're not quite the same size as a normal core, so that has to be taken into consideration. Now, I'm going to open it up. These eye hooks here, they just pull those up, and this goes up and locks in place. And when you open it up here, you can see the gate where it opens right here. It has two openings, one for the ground glass, one for your taking aperture. Here, your sprung steel keeper rollers, right here. Rack over, for those who don't know what that is, Debrie's and all those early hand crank cameras, there was no way to see what you were actually filming, except for the fact you could look through and sort of see through the film because it was semi-translucent. This camera, the Debrie company, I think were the first to invent reflex viewing, because on their rear finders, they had a ruby glass on some of the early ones. You drop the glass in front and you could open it up and it wouldn't expose it, because red light you could look at a film in red light and it wouldn't expose it. So that was an early way of doing it, sort of, but they had a better idea. Now, Bell & Howell was the first to come out with a rack over, and then Mitchell, but there was a flaw to it. You could forget to rack back over. With this camera, you could not forget it. Now I'm going to demonstrate how this works. I'm going to do it in close-up so you can see it better. You cannot move the rack over unless you engage with this plunger. There's a hole inside one of the shafts, so you can be cranking and then you push this plunger and then it catches and it goes into both shafts that are inside of here. Now it's safe to rack over, and here's the knob to do it with. You just pull this knob up, slide it smoothly over, goes down. Now you're in perfect registration with your ground glass viewer, and you look through the back of the camera through your critical focuser. Now you can pull perfect focus. Now, with the Bell & Howell and the Mitchell, you could forget to rack over, so an expression was made back in the day, don't forget to rack over. It's still being said. But you can't forget that with a Parvo, you cannot crank this camera unless you rack it back over. It's a great safety feature. Cameramen get to keep their job that way. These cameras were so easy to remove the lens. It was, by this point, it was the fastest. If you were in a situation where you had to change lenses quickly, this was it. To take these lenses out, to change them out quick is so easy. Some of these lenses had a rod here for the f-stop. This type of lens didn't need it, and this is original to the mount. Beautiful piece of glass, smooth as butter, this f-stop. Now to take them out, push your focus all the way right here, and you use this lever and you line up the opening where the leaves are to take it right out. And it has a ball and groove apparatus for your focus. So you put it back in straight, lock that, you're in business. You're absolutely in business. This is a great lens. The left side of the camera, you have a dial here which fits your crank. And what this is for you to do fade outs and fade ins. You can adjust your shutter just by doing this. So simple. Now, as you see, this camera does not have the auto dissolve lever because they were made without them as well, which was the best in the market, by the way. But a good cameraman could do it by hand. Fade in, fade out, in camera. Okay, before we get started to load the camera, I just wanted to show you this magazine open. That special core wraps around here clockwise through the valve light trap. And put the cover on. And there's 3 locks on this magazine. 1, 2, 3. Not going to open on you at all. Okay, we're going to load the camera here quickly just to show you. A little tricky. Unlike any other camera. First here I want to show you there's a steel keeper roller here to hold it up against the sprocket. I'm going to show you that. And this film goes straight through that. Now I like to pull off about 1.5 feet. Just to, as I'm putting this on the core, sort of get it on at the same time. It's a bit sticky. And here we go. Now I put the crank back on with this open just to show you here. Now you're rolling either direction, and this is right here. Now, this shows you your gate. You open your gate here. Now this camera has that full loop, as like I showed you in previous videos. So you do a full loop here. Put your camera right here, line it up. You should have about 2 fingers worth in there. That's what they say. It seems to make sense. Works for me. Now, move it forward a little bit. Let's see if we can keep that crank in. All right. It does have to have another loop. I'm going to move to the other side here to show you. Okay, now the receiving magazine is a bit tricky. Let me crank off a little bit more film. Like the top loop, you must have a bottom loop. Now, go through the sprung deal here, about 2 fingers. I get it around this bottom roller here. Now, once you're there, you're lined up, but it is a bit difficult to get it into the receiving magazine. A little tricky. Put it through the light trap. See here if we can do this without trying it 100 times. There we are. We're in. In like flint. Now, here, roll it around a couple of times, 3 times, and we're in business. There we go, and we're in. Now, tricky as that may seem, now we're good here. I'm going to come across here. You can still see how smooth that is. Now, okay, I wanted to show you quickly with the film in place, the rack over. There it goes. With the film in place, there's room. That's why you have to have at least 2 fingers worth of space, 2 to 3 fingers, so that the film won't tear. Okay, ready to close up. Press down on these 2 steel flat pieces, and down it goes. Hold the doors together. Tie these down. Now you're in place now with film in there. Now you can rack over in film, there's a white trap here, right on a piece of ground glass while you have your film loaded. A lot of the hand crank cameras of that era you could not do that to. So here we have it, a circa 1930 Debrie Parvo Model LE. Beautiful. Thank you.